Hi everyone, welcome back to Out of the Stars Story, and today we're talking about Season 7 of the Clone Wars, so let's go and jump right into it. First off, there's so many reasons to love Season 7. We get to see Ahsoka come back, we get to see her fight with Maul, which is absolutely my favorite fight. We get to see what happens with her and Rex during Order 66, we get to meet the Bad Batch, we get to see Ekko come back. Like, there's just so many reasons that I love Season 7. So let's go and jump right into it. First off, it's just so cool getting to meet the Bad Batch. I loved seeing that and seeing, like, them, like, get into the argument around the campfire the first night that we, like, see the Bad Batch while they're camping out there. I love seeing that, like, first fight that they get into around the campfire whenever, it was first off just talking about, like, well, we see why the rest of you guys are important, but what about Hunter? And Tech is explaining that Hunter can feel anything from anywhere. And so I thought that was, like, really cool, like, him explaining that, and then just got into a fight. It was like, okay, you know, that was kind of, that was funny to see. And I also love seeing, like, before we even meet the Bad Batch, I love seeing how, like, whenever Rex is, like, looking at the old photo of Fives and, like, Fives, Ekko, and all of them, and I love how he's, like, it's sad, like, and then he's like, I know this is probably gonna sound weird, and you're probably gonna think I'm crazy, and he's talking to Cody, but I think Ekko's alive, and Cody, like, goes on this, like, whole spiel, like, I get that it's hard being the only one left, but I don't think he is. And then we go on, we know that later on, that Ekko is alive, which was super cool seeing Ekko come back. Like, it was so awesome. And I swear to you, I was so hyped getting to see Ekko come back. Like, it was just like, oh yes, heck yes. It was so cool. And I love seeing how, like, whenever Hunter's like, I'll tag along whenever he's, like, because Hunter doesn't think Ekko's alive. And I love, like, whenever they're heading to Skako Minor, I love how Ekko's like, I'll tag along, for support, as well as to, if not, as well as to tell you, I told you so whenever you find out your friend is really dead. I was like, wow, Hunter, that is low for you. Because, like, I was like, oh my word, wow, that is a low for you. And so that was, like, really funny, though. And I also love, like, in Season 7, getting to see Ahsoka work with those, sisters. I don't remember what their names are, so I'm super sorry about that. But I love how, like, whenever they're flying out of that, out of orbit that one time, and they accidentally go into military airspace, Ahsoka's like, just pull out, like, because she doesn't want to get caught, and so she's like, just pull out, and so the sister's like, okay, and I love how, like, whenever they fly past the Venator, we see that Anakin's on there. I'm like, wow, like, I know that, like, later on Season 7 they meet, but, like, you guys were this close to meeting earlier than you were supposed to, and that would have been cool. But it was, like, really cool just seeing that, it was really cool just, like, seeing that, like, scene, and then Anakin being, like, feel through the Force that he could, like, feel that something was off, but he wasn't sure what it was, and then they're like, well, do you want to let it go, or are you fine with it going? And so he was like, just let it go, it's fine. And then we, like, later on, we see them reunite, which was super cool. I love how whenever they call him and Obi-Wan back up to the ship, and Anakin's like, what's so important that we have to go back up to the ship? And then he sees Ahsoka, like, turned around, and then she turns around, she's like, hello, master. Like, that was just so cool to see. And him being, like, at a loss for words for a second, and then he's like, how are you? And she's like, I'm fine. And then, like, once they get back, she knows that they don't really have time to talk, so she's like, not right now. And we see them talk for a little bit later, which was, like, really cool. And then we see him give back her lightsabers, which is super cool. And I really loved seeing, like, the 501st as a way of showing support for her. They painted, their helmets, like, the group that went with her, they painted their helmets to look like hers. I thought that was, like, so cool, like, seeing that. I was like, oh my word, that's so cool. And I also, like, the fight with Maul and Ahsoka it's so good. It was so well written. It was absolutely perfect. It was just so good. And I love, like, that scene, like, where they're both standing from each other and the glass just breaks, and it's so cool. And it was so cool, like, Maul trying to, like, tell her, like, what Sidious's plan was, and she was just like, no. And then, like, later on, we know that happens. Like, we know that Anakin turns to the dark side. But it was like, Maul was trying to tell her, but she was just like, no. She wasn't having any part of it. Because she disliked Maul so much. Like, I agree. Like, why would you trust a word he said? I agree. Like, I completely understand. Like, why would you trust a word that he would say? And I thought that fight was just so cool and just so well written. It was just so good. And that is by far my favorite fight. And I also love Season 7. Like, we get to see, what happened with Ahsoka and Rex during Order 66. We get to see that, like, she was able to save him, get his inhibitor chip out. And I love how she was like, these are great men down there. And whenever whenever Rex is like upset because he knows that the 501st is not going to make it out except for him, but she's like they're good soldiers, and I will not be the one that kills them. Like, I love seeing her be like that, and the fact that they only use stuns is like really cool. Like, she didn't want to hurt them. She kept her word that she would not kill any of them, which I thought was like really cool. And I love seeing like that afterwards they buried them all and they all put their helmets down. Like, that was really cool. And then she like left her lightsaber there as like a memorial piece. And also to make everyone else think that she had died too. But it was so cool, like, seeing that. And like, just season 7 is just so good. And I love getting to see Ahsoka again. I love seeing her work with those sisters. I love getting to meet the Bad Batch. I love seeing Ekko come back. Like, there's just so many reasons why I love season 7. But I just want to jump on here and talk about that a little bit with you guys. Everyone has a wonderful day, and as always, God bless. Bye, guys.